tomorrow after a couple months stint covering our phones and doing case management and being fully immersed. Because we're joined here today by Barbara, who joined us as a full-time case manager. And Raymond, who's joined part-time to support our efforts as Community Engagement Manager. Is that your title?
Yeah.
He just joined 2 days ago.
Community Support Manager.
Community Support Manager. Cool. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the volunteers. Special shout out to my mom who covered our phones today as we prepared for this event. I do think it will be powerful to have volunteers manning our phones. It's very important to me that we have a live person answering our hotline. It builds a sense of trust and kind of actually help them. I don't want it to go to voicemail. I want to be highly responsive. So I think to accomplish that, we will need a fleet of volunteers during business hours, and so that's something I'm building up if anyone wants to chip in and cover our phones for a bit. So I was thinking about kind of like what have I learned over the past year as I've delved into the nonprofit space after being so long in the for-profit space. And one kind of lesson that I take with me is that in medical device engineering, you don't get partial credit. You can't design a surgical ablation device and have a surgeon operating and then it's designed poorly so they kill the patient by mistake. You can't say, well, at least I tried. Like, at least I put in some effort. And I feel like, unfortunately, I'm seeing a little of that in the nonprofit space where people are trying and then they, at least I did something. But what I've learned is that doing something is not always better than doing nothing at all. I'm seeing situations where situations are made worse by the presence of a nonprofit. Especially those that are inaccessible and that aren't communicating clearly that the help isn't out there. I think another example of this, one time I was volunteering with Hope on Wheels, passing out food for the underserved, and we had our food truck where we were passing out food, and then there's also a church group that was handing out groceries. And one of the people there said, oh, this food, it says that I have to use an oven to bake it, and no one here has an oven. And they said, oh, well, just take it. And it really made me think more about, like, doing something isn't always better than doing nothing at all, because you're just making them feel bad about the fact that they don't have an oven. And that's kind of a form of torture, to give someone food that they're unable to eat when they're hungry. So I think we have to be very disciplined and thoughtful about this nonprofit space and what we're doing in this space and how we're helping people. We have to be very intentional, plan ahead, and make sure that we're actually helping. And part of that is collecting metrics to ensure that our efforts are successful and having that constant feedback loop of, okay, we did this, and then tracking the metrics and working towards those metrics. So there's two ways that Havensafe tries to be radically different from other nonprofits. First of all, my hope is to turn away no one. Up until this moment, we haven't turned away any of the 87 families that have come through our doors and called our phone center. It's been a little tough in the past 2 weeks because we were having a call volume of 2 or 3 people a week, and it skyrocketed last week to 30 callers, 30 new unique callers, and Barbara just joined, so she's just like, what is going on? And then I was kind of like, what is going on? But again, and as of today, we tallied up the calls we've had so far this week, and it's been 28 phone calls, and it's only Thursday. So it's really starting to exponentially take hold, and it's revealing that there is a desperate need for this for people who are unable to cover rent next month. And what's particularly exciting about what I'm seeing is that we're the only entity in our county that is aware of every single person that will be homeless next month. And that's such a powerful thing to know in and of itself. Yeah, it's so important.
Let's do. We're gonna listen.
So we're hoping to be responsive, and my goal is to, I think there's a lot of, handing out flyers, like someone will call a call center and it's like, oh, well, we don't do that, and then they hang up the phone. I think here it's really important to send strong referrals to partners where we know that they can help them. And we need to get them that answer of like, is the help out there? If not, please stop looking. Because I'm seeing this swirl of people in the community just desperately going door to door, like they're trick-or-treating, except it's just an awful situation. So, people who are getting evicted, they're about to lose their home, they're in crisis, they need to know their next steps immediately. And every person that you see on the street was housed at some point. So that highlights the importance of homelessness prevention. And with as little as $500, you can prevent a person from losing their housing and ultimately becoming chronically homeless. And I've heard figures that it costs $1.6 million to draw someone out of being chronically homeless. So just imagine those cost savings. And according to the point in time count, more than 6,700 people will become homeless over the next year in Santa Clarita County. And Havensafe plans to intervene so that 3,000 people will not lose their housing. Let's see, what else do I need to say? So there's 3 programs I just wanted to mention that I'm working towards. So one program is no interest loans. So the idea that someone with poor credit who just hit hard times, they can get that money that they need to get a deposit or cover their rent, and then they have a repayment plan. This model is done in New York City, and Morris is actually helping me get in touch with that nonprofit to like replicate their entire program. So I'm hoping to work towards that. In the meantime, we're doing a hybrid where some recipients will get no interest loans. Others, I've been applying to 2 other funds that already exist, but these applications are 37 to 100 pages long and they take 24 hours of our time. So in order to really, take off and become more impactful, we need to create a fund of our own. Another program that we're working towards is financial coaching and life coaching. When someone gets this one-time rental payment assistance, they will join our financial coaching program and work with a coach monthly to kind of track their budget and just try to work towards being stable and creating savings so that the next time they hit hard times, they will have that cushion and they can be self-sufficient. And finally, another thing that I'm working towards is proactive outreach. The city of San Jose has 1,000 phone numbers at City Hall, the 1,000 numbers of people that got evicted last month that have received eviction notices. Right, landlords are required by law to report this information through city ordinance, and right now no one's doing anything with that information. So my hope is to call each and every person that's about to become homeless due to eviction, to offer them services and streamline this process of creating a safety net. So those are the programs that we're working towards, and I'm hopeful that within the next year we'll be able to prevent 3,000 people from becoming homeless using these methods. So that's what I wanted to say. Thanks for listening. At this point, I'll open it up for Q&A if anyone has any questions for me.